Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Diablo 3. We're playing with the Necromancer. We are in Act 5. Last episode we stopped a bunch of deaf maidens. Now we're gonna have a chat with the important quest peoples and see what actually it did to advance the plot. Let's start with the non-essentials and then Tyrael, because that might move the dialogues forward.
Can I ask you about Deckard Cain?
He was unlike anyone I ever knew. A normal man on the surface, but with a heart for all the world and everything in it. His death was a great disruption in the balance.
Could one man make such a difference?
Always.
Tyrael told me of your actions. You killed Diablo himself.
Yes, but I had assistance.
I don't know that the world will ever understand what it took to face such pure evil.
The world will always have some evil in it, but it never could have withstood so much. It is better if people remain ignorant of such things.
My father was the commander of the Knights of Westmarch. He assumed I would become a soldier, just like him.
Why didn't you?
I grew up on stories of the fearless Horadrim, Tal Rasha, Jared Cain. That was what I wanted to be. My father thought it was all myth. Wasn't he surprised when I actually became one of them?
Your soldiers have been holding out for some time.
It has been a brutal task. A lot of good men sacrificed themselves to save us. But even that wasn't enough. If you hadn't shown up when you did, we might already be dead.
Death comes to all.
Little monotonous. Always deaf this, deaf that.
The rest of the kingdom should have sent reinforcements by now.
Have you not heard? Cities everywhere are under attack. No place is safe.
Yes, Malthael strikes all across Sanctuary.
Unfortunate.
Cool. That's the first time I think I heard all of his dialogue.
Look, the sliver is changing.
As though Malthael is manipulating the Soul Stone.
Exactly. He's been gathering strength from the souls of Westmarch in order to alter the stone. Yet his purpose still eludes me.
He's killing everyone. What more do you need to know?
How he plans to do it. Westmarch is only one battlefield in this war.
Uh-oh. I do like the perspective. We are really high up here.
Urzael has done this to finish collecting the souls of Westmarch.
Where is he?
All I know is that he is in a tower somewhere in the Westmarch Heights, and that he will be quite rude to you. Before you set out to kill him, you should stop by my cart. I can enchant some items for you.
That we will do.
Did you know Urzael?
He is Malthael's lieutenant, much the same way that Iswal was mine. He does his master's bidding without question.
Malthael doesn't intend to kill you, does he?
I may be mortal, but I am not Nephilim. I have no demon blood in me, and therefore Malthael does not see me as his enemy.
We humans also possess the blood of angels.
That is of no consequence. You are half demon to him and therefore on the wrong side of the eternal conflict.
Your wounds are deep, aren't they?
I have felt pain before, but nothing like this. It is different being mortal. The pain wears on you.
I am sure you have carried greater burdens. What can Malthael do with the Black Soul Stone?
I have been thinking on that since our encounter, but every scenario I envision simply doesn't make sense, regardless of what he has become.
Even he would not dream of unleashing Diablo, would he? Did you ever consider destroying the Soul Stone?
The Black Soul Stone was made by a man, unlike previous Soul Stones. We had no idea what would happen if we destroyed it. It seemed a better idea to hide it away forever. We had no way of knowing that Malthael was watching us the entire time. How could we?
Someone is always watching. What will you do if I recover it?
I don't know. But it's better for us to have the stone than Malthael. If we make it that far, we'll worry about what to do next.
Something to be said about that. And
Why
more.
fight so hard? Thousands are dead. What do another dozen matter?
He's given up.
And now I hear those Reapers are taking people's souls? This is madness!
Nope, this is reality. Let's have a chat with you.
Chelsea, how sweet of you to ask. My people, the Vetchin, are nomads, always traveling, looking for the land we might settle. All of us have the sight, but few have it as strong as myself. You know, men have always pursued me for my visions. Well, for things other than my visions. But everyone wants to know what the future holds.
My duty is my future.
So serious. Just because you're fated to save the world doesn't mean you shouldn't have a good time. What else can I tell you? I had a vision of death blanketing our world, so I left my people, my family, to come help you.
All priests of Rathma make a similar sacrifice.
It was no sacrifice. We Vetchin often receive visions telling us when it is time to find a new family. I've had many in my life. I still love and miss each and every one of them. Except for Jonah. I never really liked that one.
I don't suppose you have other insights into Urzael.
Well, he seems to have an affinity for fire. I'd watch out for that if I were you.
Is that all?
Urzael was sent to find Malthael by our friend Tyrael. He blames himself for what Urzael has become.
And that was all the talking, so... Crafting. This is, in the story, this is the official point where you can actually get access to enchanting after you level her all up and all that good stuff. So what we can do is just replace one of the properties with another one. Sort of kind of at random, but you can always pick to restore whatever you had. It's a decent way of just replacing properties that you personally don't really like for example attack speed. Never really cared much for that. I would prefer to have the vitality back. And in this case, Boda, get some vitality. Here, Bone Spirit is a skill we don't actually use, so replacing it with another skill, like for example one of our summon skills, would be nice. Bonus of percentage of life is also not quite bad. We went from 6 million to 6.5 million vitality. Here, let's go for crits. Replacing it with intelligence is going to be more effective. On the other hand, bonus to life. It's the worst roll of life. Could be better. Oh look, life regenerate. That's also not a bad property to have. Over here we already have most of the properties we want. We would really want a armor that just has 6 properties, so we can reroll them a bit more efficiently. Bonus to Death Nova. That is again something that's not really all that interesting to me since I don't use it. Movement speed, however, on boots is a nice property to have. And here, poison skills. I don't really do poison damage. At least I don't think I do poison. Nope, no more poisons, just mostly physical, a little bit of cold. So physical would be decent, but the life regen is the true winner here. But we get physical, so we'll settle for that. The Enchantress is one of those features of the game where you can effectively pour a fortune into. And still, maybe not even get exactly what you want.
If you hadn't come along when you did, I don't know what might have happened.
It was the least I could do. Anyone would have done the same.
But you didn't have to help. You could have run right by.
Ah, how cute.
My library isn't far from here. I was closing everything up for the day when I heard the fighting in the streets. I barred the doors and then squeezed through the back window to escape. But I'll have to come up with something more exciting when I write my official account, won't I?
Yep, history is written by people.
You've heard the legend of the Tomb of Rakkus, haven't you? Its location has never been found. Most scholars think it's underneath Westmarch, but I suspect it's somewhere outside the city. Rakkus was a clever man, after all.
After Corellan's death, the crown passed to Justinian I, through a somewhat convoluted interpretation of Zakharum's scripture. Thus began the Justinian dynasty. Seen as usurpers by many, the Justinians suffered nearly constant challenges to their rule. Finally, during the reign of Justinian III, a full-fledged insurrection broke out in the outlying region of Carthage.
Okay. Find the towers of Corellan and look for Urzael. Back to some old-fashioned fighting. Yes, we have to rebuild our life bonus again.
All is unclear now. The ashes of the dead burn my eyes and choke my lungs.
Ooh, look. Pool of reflection. And a teleportation. There is a repository of bones. And part of her side area, so we'll just skip that. Maiden of Flame. This one is a fire starter, but also illusionary. Also dead. Or whatever a Reaper does when you defeat them. Kill the chicken. They did a decent job here of just portraying a city just utterly in ruins. Trezak, skulking skeletal captain. I think he bit the dust. No, skeletal beast. Let's take a step backwards here. Ooh, punishers. Let's step out of the way. As I mentioned before, punishers have a habit of being rather painful. Lovely. My life bonus has been restored. Bit more arcane dust. The use of bells in the soundtrack make it sound very ominous. Looks like there's a countdown of sorts. They build up to something ominous. But again, soundtracks of Diablo have always been pretty good. Hello there, Maiden of Flame. You are a fire starter, just like the other two. Oh, the other one. Haven't seen more yet. In this case, one of the traits was not that she would split up, but instead she was molten. I think like the other ones. Blue.
That is not possible.
I think I'm Nephilim. Well, that is possible. Okay, 2 minutes. Yeah, I wanna build up a little bit more of a bonus. So I know the upcoming fight with Urzael is gonna be a tough one. It's one of those fights where if you don't know the fight, it is very possible to die in it. Once you know the fight, it becomes easier. But still, we shall see. Okay. Consume all the corpses. Look for the tower. House of Madness. That sounds like a lovely place. Of course, being a lovely place, let's go in.
Get to safety before it is too late.
No, I must prove myself to death. Prove I am worthy. Worthy to gather the souls that sustain him.
Okay. He fancies himself a Reaper, doesn't he? I think to Malthael it would just be more proof of the evil of humanity.
I can hear them. The voices speak to me again. What? Death is coming? But I can't die. I can't. I am too important to have my life just thrown away. Please, tell me how I can avoid my fate. You want me to do what? Must I? Oh, yes. Yes, I will. I swear it. I will do anything.
He was easy to persuade. Reflects damage, shielding, poison enchanted and fast. Also, there's a Death Maiden lurking just around the corner.
My insight grows.
And she explodes. So that's 3 out of 3 Death Maidens taken care of. We got another Paragon level. Not that I'm using them, but still. At least I won't be using them during the campaign. Let's look if we can find this Tower of Coralan somewhere.
have trapped me in here!
How are we? 3 minutes, okay. Oh. You thought you had me outnumbered, right? Well, guess again.
Thank you. Had I remained in that inferno any longer, I surely would have died.
Oops. Clogging! Gregor clogging? Nice Game of Thrones reference. They're not even too subtle about it, but it's a nice touch. Also, with all the Maidens of Flames taken out, all we have to do is find the Tower of Corlan, and then we can end this once and for all. Oh, how convenient that something suddenly started blinking on the minimap, indicating we have to turn left here. So there we are. Malthael's lieutenant hides in the Tower of Corlan. Let's say hello.
My master has begun his work on the stone. Nothing that you do matters. Soon demon spawn like you will be gone forever.
Or you will be. Have you considered that?
So he's the Harbinger of Death. Also, he has a penchant for summoning burning beams of fire and cannonballs. Both of which actually can hurt quite a bit. So he has a habit of moving around.
The demon spawn shall perish in flames.
Every 1/3 of his life he gets an upgrade to his next stage and his attacks become a bit more brutal. He keeps charging up for cannon attack or just summoning the beams or moving himself with a jump attack. As a meleeer, he's more difficult to fight than as a ranged character, and I think as a summoner, you have the easiest time of all. Simply because you don't really get a direct confrontation, and you can really focus on just not getting hit by any of his attacks. Okay, he's moving over again. Oh. There is an achievement for not getting hits. And exactly, that's what I forgot, I think. Cinder, my regards. Hello there, Malthael.
Nephilim, I will bring an end to conflict. In death there is peace.
You wield a power you do not comprehend, Angel.
Exactly. I also wield power. Ooh, that looks familiar, that stuff. It's just the level 70 version of the one we had before. Malof's Focus. Enemies occasionally flee. In this case, it has a nice bonus to damage, nice bonus to intelligence, but the cooldown reduction and resource cost reduction don't really help us all that much. With the Enchantress, we can turn one of these properties into Vitality, but we will still be losing out on a life per hit. So for us, this is actually not that great a weapon.
Must have been a great man to be remembered
For now,
so. I wonder why this tower is named for him.
We'll give it to her. Let's see, and still the String of Ears. It's very difficult to replace, though these stats bonuses are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. It becomes more and more tempting to actually change out of this. Ooh, we can actually put a gem in here. Though for us the base is not going to be much better. If we put a big topaz in this, then it might be an upgrade for the Enchantress. This one. Decent bonus to damage, a little bit of toughness, we lose life recovery. We could replace the bonus for the mages or the bonus for armor with life recovery, and then it's going to be a net win. For now, let's actually go back and have a chat with the people in town. Oh, since we're here, might as well. I mentioned the armor bonus. We could exchange it for life regen. Then we keep the bonus to skeletons. Actually, this is on the low end, because it can roll up to 6,500, which is actually what we have with the older one. Keep the old one, reroll it again. And this is closer to the top. And true, we do lose some life per hit, but we keep the passive life regen. So I think this is going to be an improvement. Probably means we have to put a nice look onto this exactly, and then the right color. And I think anything we can change here, the physical skills.
That is not possible.
Enchanting. So change the physical skills bonus to an intelligence bonus, and suddenly it becomes much more interesting. It actually even becomes interesting for me to switch out of the old legendary. So cool. The thing is, I don't really have a lot of these lockets. No, not a lot of these diamonds, so let's actually remove it. Plop it in, and then boom, upgrade. And then for the sorceress, we'll just put a topaz in, since she's probably going to do a little less tanking, and she's going to benefit greatly from the statistics. And indeed.
A gift?
Exactly. Boom. So then we can get rid of all of this. And then stash the gem. Oh. There we go. And have a chat with Tyrael.
Urzael is dead, and only a few Reapers remain.
You have saved Westmarch, my friend.
Not yet. We still don't know where Malthael is hiding.
That strange woman you brought here believes she can help. She insisted on speaking with you immediately. Urzael is slain. Westmarch is saved. And yet these thoughts weigh constantly upon me.
The others may celebrate, but we know the truth. Many more will die before this war is over.
Wise words, my friend. Still, we must keep going forward. Your persistence has taught me that much. Death comes for you.
Okay. Let's not. Let's have a chat with Miriam.
You killed the angel who was responsible for this horror.
Yes, but not his master. Once he is dead, you will be safe.
I believe you.
Yay.
Chelsea, I know how to find Malthael, but you will not like what I have to tell you. Fine. There is only one person who knows how to find Malthael. She waits for you in the Blood Marsh, and you know her well. Adria.
You were right. I do not like that.
Adria is not as you remember her. She is channeling blood magic to prepare herself to retrieve the Black Soul Stone.
What does that mean?
Some things cannot be explained. You must see them for yourself.
Or you could try to speak clearly.
You have no sense of adventure.
I would hear more of your travels.
Oh, I could tell you stories. I actually knew Hedrig when he and his soon-to-be wife traveled with a Vetchin. She was beautiful. She had mystical powers of her own. I taught her a thing or two. Eventually, they were married. It was then that I had a horrific vision of what would befall them. We were friends, but there was nothing I could do. So, I shared my wine. We laughed. We danced. I wanted them to be happy for as long as possible before. She never spoke to me about it, but I think she knew.
Okay. So that was that. And now that we are starting upon a new arc of the story, well, let's conclude by talking with more of the NPCs. Oh, Tyrael has something to say, and after that we're gonna call this an end, and the next episode we're gonna start on a quest for Adria. But first, more lore.
The angels will not aid us.
There is confusion and dissension in the high heavens. You must remember, Malthael was our leader once.
All the more reason to confront him.
Imperius commands the host, and he will not unleash them on a fellow angel, especially a former member of the Angira's Council.
He will regret that.
Imperius, Angel of Regret.
You really must stop thanking me. It was nothing.
A dozen people ran by me and did nothing. You're a hero.
Just in the right place at the right time, I suppose.
This disaster will make for great reading someday, provided that anyone survives to chronicle it.
Tira's newly established rule over Westmarch did nothing to quell the civil war, which continued until she was driven mad and eventually killed by the plague. Cornelius, grandson of Justinian III and slave to the Zakharum faith, used this opening to crush the rebels once and for all and become the new king.
How fortunate I am to have met the savior of Westmarch. You simply must let me ask you some questions when your work is done. Rackus conquered all of Honduras before founding Westmarch. Repelling this invasion would be child's play for him.
Too bad he's not here.
Now that Urzael is dead, I'm going to Bramwell to find my son.
The streets are not clear. Some of our enemies remain.
I don't care.
And then I think there was another lore bit here. Yes.
I wonder if we could sell wigs made from your hair.
That is enough, Harold! If we survive this nightmare, I am leaving for my parents' estate in Bramwell.
That's a grand idea, dearest. Your father has more than enough money to...
Follow me, and I will tie you naked to a tree for the crows. Maybe then you'll finally think of something other than money.
His initiatives are not appreciated. Okay, well, let's call it an end here. We've talked with everybody we can talk to. We've read and heard of all the lore. Next episode, we're gonna go after Adria and take our vengeance upon her. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.